Hello and welcome to the Valley Soup. I'm Grant Musser.
And I'm J Max Hurley, and this week in the stew, we're taking a trip.
Tasty! Hi, once again I'm Grant Musser. I'd like to welcome today Sophia Wood. Sophia will be talking about the last trip our international club took to Germany, Italy, and Switzerland.
I'd like to thank you, Sophia, for coming on to our podcast.
Thanks for having me on here.
It's pretty exciting for me. We haven't done a podcast in 4 weeks, Grant?
Oh yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a busy couple of weeks, but finally get in here in the studio. We're actually in some renovation mode. Obviously, you can't see where we're at, but our table was turned 90 degrees, and we're slammed in here like sardines. But the show must go on.
Yes, it does, Jay. And we have a very nice renovation we're making, and I think that pretty soon here there's going to be a video coming up, and you're going to see what all went into this renovation.
Yeah, we'll keep that a little secret between us, but you guys, I think you'll be excited when you see it. So, getting into this nice international trip, Sophia, I see you have a nice itinerary in front of you, and it looks like you were very busy.
Yeah, there wasn't really a time that we weren't doing anything. We were doing something nonstop, and we just would go all day, and then we'd get to the hotel, eat, and then basically just crash in our rooms.
Well, I think that's probably by design, because you're spending all this money to go on a trip. You got to get everything you can out of it.
Yeah, you have to fit everything you possibly can in those 10 days that you're over there to get the full experience.
So you guys were over there. I see you guys went over on the 18th of November.
Yeah, we flew out from State College on the 18th of November, and we actually landed over in Germany on the next day because of how long our flights were.
So now, I've personally never been on an airplane. How was that experience for you?
Personally, I thought that the flights over would be a lot worse. I was expecting turbulence and all of that, but the flight from State College to Washington D.C. was 20 minutes long. It was not long at all, but the flight from D.C. over to Frankfurt was a good solid 8 hours.
Yeah, that's a long time. Now, Grant, I don't know about you, but I think I can get to D.C. in 20 minutes in my car.
Yeah, Jay, you might be able to. I don't think I am. I'm a very slow driver.
Well, I'm talking. I follow the speed limits.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you got to go off road through the mountains.
Yeah. You go down. I mean,
maybe 18.
18 on a good day.
Yeah.
On a good day.
No traffic.
No
18
traffic.
minutes. Yeah. 20 minutes is just crazy.
Usually, once you hit traffic, it's like an extra 4 minutes, I think. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Especially when right in DC, you get there, it slows you down a good bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you guys, an 8-hour flight.
Yeah, it was 8 hours of lots of noise. There was just a lot of white noise from outside the cabin, and it was almost impossible to sleep on the plane.
Now, I have a question. Was this flight overnight?
Yes, it was overnight.
Okay, good. Because whenever I went to Paris, we flew out of Washington too. Like you said, it was an 8-hour flight. Ours was overnight, so I was able to sleep for most of it. But I know that helps a little bit. But
so you guys get there on. You got there. Did you get there Sunday or Monday? Because
we got there Monday.
You got there Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, so you land in Germany, and I'm assuming you go to a hotel or something.
Our other group, the other half of our group, was delayed. So we had to wait at the airport for about 3 hours for them. So we had a little bit of time to kind of recuperate, because we got in Germany at about 7:30 in the morning, which is 1:30 in our time.
Yeah, that time difference was throwing me off at home, because I will say we did a playoff game. The boys had their District 6 championship game while you guys were over in Germany. I believe you were in Italy at the time?
Yeah, we were in Venice.
So I remember calling the game and hey, shout out to everyone watching in Italy. It's 3 a.m. there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were troopers for staying up for that.
Yeah.
But like I said, the time change and difference was just throwing me off. And it's amazing that you guys are just living your lives.
But we got there, and we had to wait for a good 3 hours. But after they got there, we basically left and went straight to the first town and went all day.
All day
until
long.
we got back to the hotel, first hotel.
After an 8-hour flight and a 3-hour wait, just went right at it.
Yes.
Yeah, so that night, what time did you guys get back to the hotel? Because I know, personally, I know what it is like being on a different trip, but these people at home need to know that, like, what time you got back, because it honestly is a lot of walking and sightseeing that day, so.
Yeah, it was. We got back to the hotel at, I want to say, maybe around 7 o'clock that night. So we had been going from about
12 hours, so for about 11 and a half hours, 12
and
hours.
Then we got there and we had to eat, and then we could finally go to bed. But
yeah, I'm sure it was pretty quiet in the hotel that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So you guys got up next morning, Tuesday morning.
Yep,
What was your activities for Tuesday?
Tuesday morning, we left Rothenburg and we traveled down to Neuschwanstein Castle, which is the castle that Walt Disney used to inspire, I think it was Cinderella's castle. But
learn something new every day, Grant.
And the castle at Disney World in Florida.
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff. How long were you guys there?
We spent maybe about 2.5 hours there.
I see. Now, I'm not a big travel person, but seeing those kinds of things would just be amazing to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A nice big I'm sure, was it anything I would imagine being a castle? Nice castle, beautiful. Yeah, that's cool stuff.
Jay, I think us being both children of history teachers, we really do like seeing those kind of, sightseeing castle kind of things. So, I mean, I would have loved to have seen that personally.
Yeah, I'm like, I've said this before. I'm not a huge fan of history. Now, obviously, Mom has a different opinion on it, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate cool artifacts and cool places and just the history that goes into a castle like that. Do you have any idea how old it was?
I couldn't tell you. It's extremely old.
Yeah,
it's extremely old and extremely big. So,
Yeah, it is.
We don't have anything like that over here
No.
in North America. We're just a bunch of lazy. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, we drove up to it, and while we were driving up to it, you could see it, and it's so breathtaking to be able to see something like that in person, in front of you,
Yeah, I understand what you mean there, because you never dream of it's a big castle, but then when you actually see it, you don't even know how to react.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I felt when I saw it. I was like, wow, this is truly amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff there. So after you guys left the castle, where did you guys go on Tuesday?
After we left the castle, we went straight to Munich, which is the second town we were going to stay in. And once we got there, we had a walking tour of the city so we could familiarize ourselves with it. And then we had dinner at a mall, which was there was a restaurant up in the top floor of it, and we ate dinner there. It was a buffet type thing. And the food was actually pretty similar to food at home, so it was kind of nice. It was a nice transition.
Yeah, that would have been my worry, because I'm not a picky eater, but when it comes to different, completely opposite end of the spectrum of food, there's no way I'd like it right off the bat like that.
I love it. I love food, all kinds of food except for tomatoes, as we've seen before, but otherwise.
And if you haven't seen that before, I invite you to go back and watch our Valley Soup Thanksgiving edition. It's a good watch. Grant throws up. It's a very good watch. All right, anyway, back to the trip. So, you eat a nice dinner at a buffet type thing, which I love buffets. All you can eat. It's the greatest thing ever.
Great date spot.
Oh, yeah. You show off how much food you can put down. That's an important thing in a relationship.
Yeah, you get 3 months and you show them who's boss because you can put down more food.
Yeah, I can put down 5 plates. How about you, Grant?
Oh, yeah. This body takes a lot to fill up.
You talking 6 or 7?
Oh, I'm talking...
couple trays, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say a good 5 plates like you said, but then it comes to dessert. 4 plates of dessert.
Now, I'd rather have an extra plate and forget dessert. But that's just me.
Yeah.
All right, we're kind of sidetracked.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the trip. So I think we're on Wednesday now.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Tuesday night we got to our hotel, which was called the Imperial. And the next day was probably my least favorite day of the whole trip. It was, we went to a concentration camp called Dachau, and we had a guided tour of the whole camp, and it was a pretty emotional day.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that would probably be your least favorite day of the trip.
Yeah.
But I'm sure in 20 years down the road, you'll be glad you saw it and glad you went through it.
You still got to see. You got to see and experience what an actual concentration camp looked like. So I mean, that's still got to be nice, but it's got to be extremely emotional.
Yeah.
It can't
I don't know
be too
how I would
much
have handled
fun.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us were extremely emotional that day, and I'm extremely grateful that I got to see that and got to experience seeing it and feeling that, because I think it's important for everyone to go see that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So after Wednesday, you guys go into Thursday. What were your events on Thursday?
Thursday, we had the bus transfer us to Innsbruck, which is in Austria, which was on the way to Venice. Innsbruck was absolutely beautiful. Like, it had a river going through the town that was crystal clear. Like, you could see the bottom of it.
Now,
and
I'm just saying, Petersburg has a river going through the town.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's close to crystal clear.
Yeah, like on a good, when it rains, it might get a little
mucky.
Yeah, a little mucky, but that's good fishing there.
Yeah, it is. Real good fishing. I caught a pretty big fish in there before. I was pretty proud of myself. I have a picture of it.
You know, I've never caught a fish in there, but it's good fishing.
Yeah.
Hey, they call it fishing, not catching. Anyway, so we're nice, beautiful, crystal clear river going down through the middle of town.
And then there was the the Alps in the background of the city, so you'd see the buildings, and the buildings over there, they're all colorful. Like, there are no brown buildings. They're like yellows and reds and blues and greens. They're just like all colorful, and then you see the mountain range in the background of it. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah, it does.
I want to live in that movie. I don't want to travel though.
Yeah.
I'm kind of terrified of planes, I think. I don't know. I'd have to get up and face my fear. Kind of like you and tomatoes.
Yeah, you just got to do it. You just got to throw yourself into it.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you see, the thing is, the first time you tried, you failed. But you tried again. My problem is, if I fail on a plane, do I survive?
See, now that's really up to you. I mean, you're going to experience turbulence every once in a while, so that could be technically your fail, but not all flights are like that. I had a flight to Europe that had no turbulence. I had a flight to Costa Rica that it felt like I was just going like the whole time. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear that. It should be, because it says you can on the monitor, so.
Yeah, real quick, we're on our own this morning here. We're recording this on Friday morning. Normally we do these in the afternoon, so we have a bunch of people in here, but nope, it's just us three.
Yep.
Anyway, so you go through this. Would you say that was probably your favorite spot?
It was my second favorite spot.
Okay, so that means we got some good spots to come here.
Yeah. Stay tuned. So, Friday. You've been there for 5 days now.
Yeah. So Friday was our first day in Venice after we stayed in the hotel in Venice Thursday night. So we had to drive to Venice from our hotel because our hotel was outside of Venice. And then we had a water taxi that actually took us into the city because there's obviously no roads to get into it.
No, that would be fun.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Extremely. That's got to be nice to see. I mean, obviously, we don't really have, in Petersburg and Alexandria, you don't really have your canals that you just take to school every day, so that had to be interesting to see.
I don't know, Grant. When it floods, I can just sit down and roll the whole way here on top of the water.
That's if we have school on those days.
Well, I still show up. I'm a trooper, man. All right, so Saturday morning, early Saturday morning around 3 a.m., did you stay up to watch the football game?
I didn't.
Geez.
Because I accidentally set my alarm for the wrong time. I would have if I set my alarm to the right time.
Now, Grant, are we gonna believe her?
I'll let you pass on this one. I think that maybe you did set your alarm at the wrong time, because who would have wanted to miss us winning the District 6 championship?
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Good job, Grant. I'm proud of you. So, you messed up your alarm.
Yes.
It's a great day to the start of the day. But what did you do then Saturday when you did finally wake up after the District 6 championship game?
Saturday, I was really happy for the team. I was like, that's my school,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Like I said, commentating that game, just like, there's people watching on the other side of the world. It's 3 a.m. and they're sitting there listening to me, watching us do something the school hasn't done in 31 years, which was really interesting.
Yeah, I saw all the stories. My mom stayed up, my brother stayed up. We had some other people stay up, like Mr. Waite. They all texted me, congratulated me. I mean, that was just something that, made us feel real good, and I just can't thank the Travelers enough for that, because that, knowing that you guys were up at 3 a.m. watching our game, and then staying up afterwards to text us and congratulate us and post pictures and stuff, it's just, it doesn't get much better than that, and that's small town high school football.
Yeah, and you guys, you'll have that memory winning the District 6 championship game for the rest of your lives, but people watching in another country, in another continent, would just add to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yep.
So moving back to the trip here, so let's go to Sunday. What did you guys do Sunday?
Sunday was one of my favorite days. Like, this was actually my favorite day, my favorite place. This was when we went to Lucerne, Switzerland, and we had a walking tour of the town, and it was absolutely beautiful. Even though it was like foggy and hazy that morning, it gave like the town just this vibe of like just
It was kind of cozy.
Yeah,
I feel like when it's fall,
cozy.
when I think fall, I think nice, cozy up, and a nice warm blanket. If the whole town has that feel, Grant.
Yeah, that's got to be nice. But what was the weather like? Because I know I'm pretty sure it was probably similar to over here. So
it was very similar to here. Munich was definitely the coldest place we were at, but Venice was 50 degrees. So it was a nice transfer from being 32 to 50 degrees. And then Switzerland was definitely warmer than expected. Like, you would think Switzerland, since it being up in the Alps, it'd be colder, but it was actually warmer than Munich.
It's not bad.
That's
hoodie
weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Hoodie
that's
weather.
T-shirt weather, man.
Oh yeah.
When you're used to 32 degrees, T-shirt doesn't come off. Sweatshirt comes off. T-shirt doesn't come off till it's 75.
Yeah.
That's the rules. Okay, so you said Sunday's your favorite day. What else did you do Sunday that made it your favorite day?
Sunday we took like the gondolas. They're like a ski lift basically, and it took us up to the top of a mountain outside of Lucerne, and we were up over 7,000 feet, and there was a fog bank below the mountain. It was covering everything, and it looked like an ocean.
That would
fog.
be that definitely would be my favorite thing too.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
It was magnificent.
After your favorite day, you've been there for almost a week. Were you tired? Were you exhausted yet, or were you still riding that? We're on a nice vacation.
I was still on that high. Like, I am in a different country. Like, I am over here having the time of my life in a completely different place, and like, this was my first time abroad too. Like, I'd never been out of the country before, and I didn't want to come home. Like,
now obviously I can't say for sure how I'd react, but I feel like Grant, after 8-hour flight and 3 hours in the airport, I'd want to go home right then.
Yeah, CJ, you're asking me these questions, and they're hard questions, because I'd like to agree with you, but I have been on 2 international trips, and I know what it's like. You get over there, and you're like, yeah, you're tired. You just were on a flight for 8 hours, got probably the worst sleep of your life, and then you go on these trips, but once you're on them, it's just, it's crazy. I mean, you're on these trips, and you see things that you never thought you'd see before in your life. So, I mean, yeah, by the end of the trips I was on, I was tired, but I was having a good time, and it's something I never want to change.
But yeah, with what you said, Grant, I'll have to agree with you. Like, it was definitely worth being tired in that airport for hours, and those flights over. It was definitely worth it.
So moving into Monday, you have the day after your favorite day. Was it just as good or not quite?
I had a really good time this day. I think the fact that it was our last full day over there was kind of setting in, so that kind of dampened my mood. But the town we were in, which was called Heidelberg, at this point we were back up in Germany. It was it had like Christmas markets and stuff over there, and it was like a little whimsical little town there. It was
just like kind of like a movie. I mean, I've said that already once in this podcast, but I really feel like this is what I think of when I think of movies.
Yeah, see, and Jay, I think you think that because sometimes, like you said earlier with the castle, that's where these movies are shot.
Yeah.
So, like,
maybe I've seen these places. I just don't know.
Exactly. I think that could be it.
Because I'm not sure how it is in your guys' households, but in the Hurley household, Thanksgiving comes around. It's Hallmark movie time.
Oh, with Maylin, you're definitely watching Hallmark movies. I come home, I'm like, Mom, I want to watch a football game. Nope, Hallmark movies on.
Yeah, you might as well just go find a friend with a TV, try to find some football on, or you sit there and enjoy a nice movie.
Yeah,
and watch it.
I mean, I watch maybe 1 or 2 a week, but I can't watch 3 a night like my mom does.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. All right, so your trip is just about ready to wrap up. The last day you're there on Tuesday. So how was that day? I'm sure you guys were a little disappointed that you had to leave, but at the same time a little excited to come home.
Yeah, definitely. I was at that point. I think I was ready to come home because we were already at the airport and we were already getting ready to leave. So I was definitely getting ready to come home, but I was still disappointed that we had to leave. And then we left Frankfurt at about, I want to say maybe 1:15, and we got to Chicago about 9 hours later.
9-hour flight. That's some good stuff. Were you able to sleep on that flight?
I actually was able to sleep on this flight. I slept for about a good 2 hours on this flight home.
That was a good nap.
Yeah.
I mean, you knock off 2 hours, then you watch a couple movies or something like that.
Hallmark movies.
Hallmark movies on the
Hallmark movies.
little screen. So yeah, I mean, couldn't have been too bad of a flight, but you never want to spend 9 hours on a plane. That's just it's just rough.
So overall, it sounds like you really enjoyed yourself on this trip.
I really did. This was probably one of the greatest experiences that I've ever been able to have.
I think it's really cool, Grant, that students here at Geneva Valley have this opportunity to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, Jay, I was hoping you were going to bring that up because I have a story from whenever I went to Costa Rica. One of the people who went with us, this person had heard about these trips that we do, since they were in 6th grade. So they started raising their money since 6th grade, and they started the fundraising 2 years before, like you have to. But they started raising their money since 6th grade, and they were able to go on their senior trip. And this person had never been out of the state, let alone out of the country. So, I mean, they got to leave the state. We drove to Maryland to get on our flight. We didn't take the State College 20-minute flight to Washington, D.C. So we got on that flight. And
it only took you 15 minutes to get to Maryland, right?
Yeah, it only took us. Yeah, we were on a charter bus, so it took us like 25 actually.
Oh,
yeah.
You weren't driving. That was the problem.
Yeah, that was the problem.
All right.
But then we flew from Washington to Miami, so they made it to Miami. So they've now been to 2 states, and then we went to the country of Costa Rica. So they were in the same amount of countries as they had been states: the United States and Costa Rica and Pennsylvania, Maryland. Oh wait, one more state.
I don't know, but I don't know if you can count Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's where you're living.
Exactly.
So I think that's a pretty cool story there.
Yeah. So like this opens up opportunities for people that they probably never thought they were going to have, and I think that is just something that is exciting. Now, I'd like to talk about the next trip. During the 2020 Thanksgiving break, which would be that now 10th graders will be seniors, the International Club will be going to London, Paris, Rome, and Florence. There will be informational meetings popping up, so if you have a student or an adult who has a student in the school and you'd like to go on this trip, there'll be information coming out about meetings that they're going to be having here at the high school to get the information.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'll be long gone.
Yeah, and I'll be not long gone, but I'll be I'll be gone. Won't be here at
I'll be
Geneva
long
Valley.
gone, you'll be gone. But I know your siblings will still be able to go, Grant.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they'll be on that trip. And
I
that
think,
sounds like a really fun one too.
Yeah, I think my sister will be going. Gavin, he already told me that he'll be attempting to win a District 6 championship in the Thanksgiving break of 2020. That'll be his 10th grade year, so.
I mean, hey, we don't need to wait 31 more years, right?
That's what I'm saying, Jay. So I think it's about time we wrap this up. We've been going here for a good little bit, and we have to get back to class. This still is a high school podcast, so we'd like to thank Sophia for coming in today.
Yep, thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, it was fun, man. You did really well, and don't be surprised if you're back on another time this year.
Yeah. Extremely thankful for that, and we'd just like to say once again, London, Paris, Florence, and Rome, come to a meeting, get the rundown, and see if Ian go on this next trip.
For Grant Musser and J. Max Hurley, thank you for listening.
See you later, folks.